Welcome to Daily Dictation. This week we are looking at sentences related to the topic online school. This video is for low intermediate English speakers, and the purpose of this video is to provide an interactive activity, which means that you will participate and practice just like you would in a classroom with me. And for this, you are going to improve your English skills, more specifically, your listening and your writing skills. So this dictation exercise is where I read to you 5 sentences and you write down these 5 sentences the best that you can. This will help you with your spelling, your writing, capitalization, understanding grammar, and just overall improving your listening skills. So when you are taking an IELTS, TOEFL, CELPIP, PTE exam, you will need listening skills because listening is one of the 4 areas that are essential in English. And so you will need to know how to listen to something one time and have excellent note-taking abilities for these exams. And this daily activity will help you get those skills. Also, every week I look at vocabulary that are related to words and concepts that are often looked at for these exams. So with the article for the reading part of the exams, for the listening aspect and the writing aspect of the exams, you're usually given all these things on certain topics, and you have no idea the topics that will be covered on the exam that you take the day that you take it. But every week I follow a topic or a subject area that has been covered before or is likely to be covered. This week we're looking at online school because there are questions that might be related to school online because that has become popular in the last few years. So let's go ahead and get started with this activity. So join me for daily dictation Monday to Friday in order to really be able to improve your English listening and writing skills. You should practice this every day. It takes like 15 to 30 minutes a day. And in this, you get not only an activity to practice your skills, but you get the answers to check how good you are. And then I talk about some grammar points that if you don't understand, that's a point for you to improve on more and study more. There are new topics each week, like I said, 2 English levels offered so you can build on your skills. This is the lower level. And a vocabulary list and practice worksheets are available as well to help you practice different areas like writing and reading. So for this particular exercise, you will need a blank piece of paper and a pencil. 5 sentences will be read. Each sentence will be read 3 times and 1 more time at the end. You have to write down each sentence the best that you can, and you will use your listening skills to do this. Try your best to apply the correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. So you can see here on the screen, there are numbers 1 to 5. Each of these numbers represent a different sentence that I will be reading, and we're going to start with sentence number 1. Number 1. Students often refer to the digital textbook and shared document in their virtual classroom. Students often refer to the digital textbook and shared document in their virtual classroom. Students often refer to the digital textbook and shared document in their virtual classroom. Number 2. The chat is a useful tool for discussing topics covered in the digital textbook during video conferencing. The chat is a useful tool for discussing topics covered in the digital textbook during video conferencing. The chat is a useful tool for discussing topics covered in the digital textbook during video conferencing. Number 3. The Dropbox helps organize files for e-learning. The Dropbox helps organize files for e-learning. The Dropbox helps organize files for e-learning. Number 4. A stable internet connection ensures that video conferencing in a virtual classroom runs well. A stable internet connection ensures that video conferencing in a virtual classroom runs well. A stable internet connection ensures that video conferencing in a virtual classroom runs well. Number 5. Teachers upload the digital textbook to Dropbox so students can access it during e-learning classes. Teachers upload the digital textbook to Dropbox so students can access it during e-learning classes. Teachers upload the digital textbook to Dropbox so students can access it during e-learning classes. Now I will read each sentence one more time, starting with sentence number 1. Number 1. Students often refer to the digital textbook and shared document in their virtual classroom. Number 2. The chat is a useful tool for discussing topics covered in the digital textbook during video conferencing. Number 3. The Dropbox helps organize files for e-learning. Number 4. A stable internet connection ensures that video conferencing in a virtual classroom runs well. Number 5. Teachers upload the digital textbook to Dropbox so students can access it during e-learning classes. All right. So let's go ahead and get ready to check our answers. I'm sure everybody did a great job. If it was too fast or unclear in some areas, I recommend that you listen again and slow down the speed and the settings of the video. If you just need to listen to specific sentences again, check the description for timestamps. However, if you're already to check your answers, let's go ahead and check. So here are our answers. So I'm going to show you what you should have written down and explain some of the grammar and spelling concepts related to these things. Here's the first one. Students often refer to the digital textbook and shared document in their virtual classroom. Okay, so for this one, of course, like we've mentioned before, capital letter at the beginning of a sentence, period at the end of a sentence. We have often, which is what we call an adverb of frequency. This shows the frequency of which we do something. Do we do it a lot? Do we do it rarely? Sometimes, never. These are all adverbs of frequency. They go before the base form of the verb, which is refer. We use the base form of the verb because adverbs of frequency are always used in the simple present tense because we're describing a routine or a repeated action. And here we have to, that's the preposition that we're looking at because it's talking about the direction of something, of like where are we looking towards. Here are our dictation words: digital textbook, shared document. These are vocabulary words that you should study for this topic. And then here we have a possessive adjective there. We've seen this now in today's video, yesterday's video, and the day before. We have there and there as well. So you need to know the difference. This one is a possessive adjective, not to show location, not a contraction of they are. So of course it will be different. Now this one, number 2. The chat is a useful tool for discussing topics covered in the digital textbook during video conferencing. Now, this is like referring to the chat function in Zoom, for example, or in Microsoft Teams, there is a chat function as well. And so we have this is a subject, of course, capital letter here, period here, just like usual. And Here we have the form of be for singular because we're talking about one chat tool. A useful tool, right? Just like that. For, when we say for, we're often going to follow with a gerund for discussing topics covered in the digital textbook during video conferencing. So in, because this is the best preposition to use when we're talking about information within a book. We say in. Let's look at the next one. This one is quite simple. The Dropbox helps organize files for e-learning. So the Dropbox is our subject, helps organize. So here we have helps, and then this is going to be in the base form, organize. And here we have the object of our sentence and a little bit more information. Preposition for e-learning. We talked about e-learning before. E-learning is a gerund, so it has ing on it, but it functions like a noun. Because it functions like a noun, but it has ing like a verb, we call that a gerund. Let's look at another example. 4, a stable internet connection ensures that video conferencing in a virtual classroom runs well. Just like usual, capital letter, period. A stable internet connection. This is actually the subject of our sentence here, this whole phrase. This is, it all works like a noun, so we call that a noun phrase. When there's many words that come together and they all together function like a noun, then we have our verb ensures. Because this is functioning like a noun, not only that, but connection is singular. We have a, which shows that it is singular here. So this is going to be singular noun. So we're going to apply the singular third person rule, which means that we put s on the verb ensures. That video conferencing in a virtual classroom runs well. And here we have runs with the same verb. Because why do we need both verbs to have the same tense? When we have both verbs in the same tense with the same rule, we call that verb tense consistency. And this is one of the most common errors in English writing. People change up their verbs within one sentence, and they do so in a way that actually doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, number 5, the last one. Teachers upload the digital textbook to Dropbox so students can access it during e-learning classes. So for this one, again, the most simple rule, capital T, period. Teachers is plural, so it can be reduced to they. And so because of that, we are not applying the singular third person rule because it's not singular third person. It's actually plural. So we don't add an S on that. That's what is confusing for many people. So students can access it during e-learning classes. So we have can, that's our helping verb. Because we're following with the can, this access is going to be the base form of the verb. And so that is what your sentences should look like, and a little bit of reasoning why we are following these grammar rules, what they mean, and what, if you don't understand, what you might need to focus more on to improve your skills. Now, all these bold words are words that we're focusing on that are related to the topic of online school, which is an important topic if you're looking to study IELTS, TOEFL, CELPIP, PTE, or something like this, because these topics might come up in one of your 4 tests, speaking, listening, reading, writing. So you want to know these words and you want to know how to use them, especially in your speaking and writing. Will be very, very good if you're able to use these words effectively, because it shows that you have a very good range of English vocabulary, which is quite important for these tests. So let's have a better look at these vocabulary words before we finish up this lesson. Here are the vocabulary words that you're going to want to review. We have stable internet, device, chat, video conferencing, virtual classroom, Dropbox, digital textbook, e-learning, shared document. So these words here will help if you know how to use them when you're discussing this topic, if you're discussing it in an oral or verbal form, or if you're discussing it in a written form. Good either way to know how to use these words. It will show that you have a very wide range of vocabulary, which is very, very good in these exams and just for day-to-day English as well. Besides that, we are all finished for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you keep practicing your English, keep doing the best you can. If you want further practice, you want to access the worksheet, just go to the link in the description. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.